Hey family, how you doing? It's your girl, Dr. Shonna. I'm just popping in here real quick just to say hi to all of you guys and give you guys some quick updates, and then I'm going to pop off of here, get to doing what I need to do, and then I'm going to be on a little later because we're going to talk about the white thugs killing people. Oh, we're going to talk about that. And why when we see this kind of information, we should be sharing it among our pages. Because, if it was our black asses, that shit would have been all over every last channel you could have think about, everything. So, we should be doing the same damn thing. But nonetheless, let me give you guys some quick updates. Currently, I am in Georgia. I believe I made a pit stop in Decatur, Georgia. I'm not here on any particular business. I came down here for some personal things, and unfortunately, they fell through. So because they fell through, I cut my trip short, and I will be leaving on Sunday. I will be flying back to Jersey. So that's one thing I wanted to do. So I have some associates over here in in Georgia. I'm going to be hitting up all my associates in Georgia to see what they're doing, to see if we can just link up for today or tomorrow for brunch, and I'm going to keep it moving. So if you're not one of my associates, that's okay. If you are in Georgia and you guys want to have brunch tomorrow, I'll be more than happy to do that. Or if you want to have dinner tonight, let's just all get together, run some things out. You could pick my brain for free. I always do that when I come over, when I'm just popping up in a location where I have people that reside there. I always meet up with people and we go out and we have something to eat, or we go have a drink, or whatever the case is. And for that time that I am with you, you guys are able to pick my brain about whatever you need, whether it's relationship advice, whether it is advice of how to get started with activism, whether it is advice in business. It doesn't matter. If you want me to look at some things, run some things by you, I will pop up just for that time that we're spending together and do that with you before I get back on a plane. So if you are in Georgia, now, let me tell you where I'm at in Georgia. That might help. I don't know where the hell I'm at in Georgia. I'm in Georgia. I see black folks. That's all that matters to me. But I'm in maybe, I don't know. This is right now, currently, I'm sitting in my car at Decatur. So I'm not too far from Decatur, Georgia. I might be in a place called Avondale or something like that. I don't know where I'm at. But it doesn't matter. I'm not too far from Atlanta. I'm about to head out there in a little bit. I'm not too far from there. So, and I have a car. I have a rental. So wherever you want to meet, I'll be able to. Now I got to hit up some of my associates. So whoever gets to me first is who I would spend time with. Let me say that. Somebody asked me how I'm feeling. I'm not at liberty to speak about how I'm feeling, but I'm alive. And y'all know what I mean when I say I'm not at liberty. Not at liberty. But I'm alive. I'm alive. My son is alive. Let's just put it that way. So that's that. I will be back on social media starting this weekend. I am going to be talking about some things today. I am going to be back on both YouTube and I'm going to be on Facebook. So somebody says you need to come to North Carolina. I think North Carolina is on our list. Hold on a second. Listen, people, y'all got to understand, I got a life too. I got a personal life too. Let me see. North Carolina. Let me see if North Carolina is on our list. I'm pulling up my calendar. Give me a second, guys. So in May, we will be in New Orleans. In June, we will be in Los Angeles and in Memphis, Tennessee. In July, we'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. In August, we'll be in St. Louis, Missouri, and Charlotte, South Carolina. Close, close. In September, we'll be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. October, we'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, and Birmingham, Alabama. In November, we will be in Fort Worth, Texas. So this year, we do not have North Carolina on our schedule. Not for this year. But don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to be doing this every year. So next year, you're probably on tour. And I thank you guys for understanding. I am having some challenges traveling and being in my personal life. I'm trying to take things a little bit slower because my son will be a senior in high school in September. So I have to get him ready for his ventures, whether he's going to be opening a business or going in college. I need to be able to help him the same way I help my daughter. My daughter will be graduating in May. Yep, in May with her bachelor's in pre-med, neuroscience and behavior. So she'll be going into the medical field. So I want to be there for her because she's having her little nervous breakdowns. And wherever she moves, I'll be moving. So wherever she goes, I'll go because she's the oldest. She's the oldest, so she's going to need more support. And I'm just going to pack up and go where she goes. It's just that simple. And I want to talk a little bit about that later on. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Oh, I think I said Charleston, South Carolina. Let me go back. I think I said Charleston, South Carolina. Somebody's asking me, Charlotte, South Carolina. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on a second. You're right. That does sound weird, right? Hold on a second. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. You're right. Let me see. Hold on. Charlotte. Where's Charlotte at? Charlotte, South Carolina, correct? Not Charleston. We're going to be in Charlotte, South Carolina. And that is in August. Charlotte, South Carolina. So if you're not too far from any of these places, I suggest you take a ride, because how we doing it this year? What's up, Tracy? How you doing? What's up, Katrina? What's up, Terry? How we doing it this year, Terry, is not only will we have our conversation with the attendees, and we always sell out. We always sell out. Our seats are always sell out. Then we open it up. So once the tickets fill all the seats, because we're not here to rob anybody's pockets. We're here just to get the expenses paid for. And once those seats are all filled, then we just open up the doors to anybody for donations. So whatever you can give, you give, no matter what. And you come. It just means that you'll have standing room, but whatever you give at the door, you come. So I just want you guys to know that wherever we are going, don't be discouraged. If you can get in your car and drive to one of these locations, or if you're fortunate enough to get a plane ticket and fly, then do that. And the reason why I say if you're fortunate enough, because I don't want people to get in their feelings when I say stuff like that. It's expensive as hell to travel. You get what I'm saying? And not everybody has the wherewithal to be able to just get up and go. And I'm going to be talking about that later, because I had a little situation on Wednesday. I believe it was on Wednesday. I was speaking to one of my friends who's like a brother to me. He helps me in my business. And we was having this discussion. I think initially when we started the discussion, he misunderstood what I was saying. And I had to come back and I had to double down. And he started listening. He got what I was saying, because we need support in our community. One of the things that I'm going to talk about this later, but I want to touch base. There's a lot of Egyptians over here. All these mofos are Egyptian. I bet you if I roll down Ethiopian. I bet you if I roll down my window and I ask them where they're from, they're going to say Ethiopia because of the features. There's a lot of Ethiopians in this area. I know that for a fact. There's a lot of Ethiopians in this area. That's a beautiful thing. But nonetheless, here's the thing that I have that's going on in our community that we have to really pay attention to and we have to address. Is we don't have the supports in our families like we used to have. I am in my 40s and I'm a mom of 3. My mother is deceased. My mother was my rock. And not only is my mother deceased, I have so many of my aunts and my uncles who are deceased. My grandmother, although she's alive, she's 94 years old. And she's at that age where she depends on us to help her do things for her in order for her to live a comfortable life. When I really think about the differences between us and many other cultures, we really don't got it like that. We don't really have the funds to just pick up and go visit our family members wherever they are at. And what I notice in our community is that we have gotten so far away from how we used to be. Everybody lives in different areas. And our families, you got people in Florida, Georgia, New York, Jersey, Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Arizona. Everyone lives so far away. And when I really think about the conditions that we are in, I know a lot of us don't like to talk about it, but the conditions that we are in, because so many of us are disillusioned to believe that we're having this great life. We're really not. We're in bad conditions. And when I say bad, it may not be the same bad that it was in the 80s, but it ain't where it needs to be at. We are in bad conditions and people are spread out all over the place. I run across so many women who do not have support in their family because their family are either dead, locked up, on drugs, abusive, or they live all over the place. And they are raising children on their own with large amounts of stress. And these things are not healthy for us. And I know I always speak about stress killing, and I'm going to keep stressing about that until we really get it in our heads that the things that we are doing, some of us electively what we're doing, and then the situation that many of us find ourselves in, it causes so much stress on us and so many traumatic experiences that our bodies physically can't take it. And we are dying. We are dying. I just had a conversation with somebody who came into my office in an emergency meeting. She is somebody who I've been working with for years. I'm about 10 to 12 years older than her. I think I'm 12 years older than her. She's in her 30s. And I've been working with her for years. I've watched this young lady grow into who she is. And she got it going on for her age. She got it going on, but she does not handle stress well. And the reason why I say this is because she's expecting her first child. And she's breaking down because of the lack of support she has. The lack of support that she has. She came in on an emergency basis because she just lost her sister. Her sister was 32 years old. And her sister just died on the spot. She spoke to her sister 2 days prior about some stuff her sister was stressing about. Her sister is a mom of 3. 32 years old, a mom of 3. And she died. She died instantaneously. No one murdered her, right? No one murdered her. She didn't have a sickness that we knew about. She spoke to her sister and she died. And she said that she has so much guilt because she believes, and I know she did it, and you know that's my job as a therapist to help her see that she did not bring this on her sister, but she believes she had a part in her sister's death because her sister called her stressed about her living situations, stressed about not having support for her children, stressed about the strained relationship that she has with their father. She was stressed. And the person that I'm working with said that at the moment she wasn't able to take listening to what she was hearing because she's pregnant and she's stressed. So she told her sister, I gotta go. I'll speak to you later. You'll figure it out. I'll call you back to see how you're doing. And she got off the phone. The next day, her sister died. And she can't wrap her head around it. So I know many of us, we process death differently. But when somebody dies in my field, right, for what I do for a living, if somebody dies at 32, not only am I going to help you process that, but I'm going to help you to have understanding of what's really going on. See, when we look at the dynamics, and I said I wasn't going to get into it. I don't want to get into it. But when I look at the dynamics, we really don't have family how we used to have family. In the past, our family was situated around us. I don't know about many of you guys, but when I was younger, I went to school, elementary school and junior high school with my sibling and my cousins. Like, people knew that if you started a fight with any of us, we always going to be on your ass because we were all in the same school. And we was going to make sure it was going to be a fair fight. But we was going to make sure ain't nobody was jumping in. It was going to be one-on-one. One-on-one. Ain't nobody jumping in. But we can't do that right now. Our kids are in schools by themselves. Our kids, when you really think about it, our kids are going to strangers' houses for company. For company. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a child, I did not have new friends. The friends that I have today are the same friends that I had since I was 11 and 12 years old. I did not have new friends. See, the reason why I did not have friends is because I had family. Because we were raised that your family comes first. You don't need no friends, is what my family raised us to believe. You don't need no friends. You make sure you stay with your family. And whatever my cousins did, I did. And wherever my cousins had to go, I had to go. You understand what I'm saying? And right now, so many of us don't raise our children the same way. So many of us do not raise our children to put family first. We believe, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong in it, But I'm just examining the stress that we put on ourselves. We believe that we can get new family. And our new family is by making friends. Our new family is by forming friendships and having our children grow up with people who are not their aunties and uncles, and they call them auntie and uncles. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just examining what we are doing in current days. But when we have a falling out with our friends, our children lose their aunties and uncles and their cousins, their make-believe cousins, and they make-believe aunties and uncles when we have a falling out. Right? I was raised, like DeQuanda is saying, I was raised that family comes first. So when I talk about the young lady I'm working with who's under extreme amount of stress, who is pregnant, entering her 3rd trimester, she's pregnant. And she just lost her sister. They're 2 years apart. Her sister was stressed as hell. Her heart gave out. Right?
Patricia Phillip.
I have to call her back. Her heart gave out. Because she couldn't take the amount of stress raising her children on her own. And I feel for her, but I also relate to her. And even though I'm older than the both of them, I'm able to relate to them. Because what I noticed being a mom, when my children were younger, when I had my children in my 20s and they were younger, I had support. And as I had my youngest child going into my 40s, the support dwindled. But if I didn't have the financial means that I do have to raise my children, I would be experiencing the same amount of stress that they experience. Yes, Gwen, because children are stressful. And we don't like to talk about that. Everybody want to get on social media and make it seem like having children is the best thing since sliced bread. Now, don't get me wrong. Having children is a blessing. I see my spiritual mom is on. Hi, Mom. Hi, Hanifa. Having children is a blessing. Don't get me wrong. But children stresses the hell out. And nobody likes to talk about that. And we gotta get closer to the way we really were, our roots. We have gotten so far away from what collectivism is about, what collectivism really looks like. And so many people, I'm realizing, don't like African terms. Come on now. Come on now. Listen. When I think about those of us who are descendants, African descendants, who were forced here through kidnapping and business deals to come to this country and to be forced under chattel slavery. When I think about those of us, because we're unique people. They call us African Americans. I don't call myself an African American. That's what they call us. But for the sake of having terminology that we all can agree on, just for the purpose of understanding, we're not going to debate on names, but for the purpose of understanding, when I really think about it, what they call us, the so-called African American, our experiences are unique. You see, when you really think about other people, and I'm married into a Haitian family, and when I look at my Haitian relatives, the way they move, the way they operate, is not the way many of us who are so-called African Americans, it's not the way we move. And it's not the way we operate. For the most part. I'm not saying all of us, but I'm saying too many of us. You see, many of us won't dare move our mothers and our fathers into our houses. We will have our children, if they're lucky, visit their grandparents, their grandma, their great aunt, where they live, right? We'll have them visit. We won't move them into our houses. Many of us, we won't purchase multi-family houses not all of us, but many of us, we won't purchase multi-family houses and all live together in the house. You see, these things are important because we need cultural capital. We need social capital. We need to be able to network and stick with each other for the purpose of building. Somebody's saying, is it me or did the sound go out? Okay, I'm glad the sound is back. We need to build together. I was speaking to one of my friends and she was saying that she's buying a house. And she's buying a single family house. And I said, well, I'm about to acquire a multi-level property, but this time I'm going to acquire it with me residing in one of the floors because I need to stack some ones. And she looked at me like I was crazy that I was going to buy a multi-family house. I looked at her like she was crazy that she was buying a single family house. Right? And I said to her, with all due respect, sis, the difference between you and I is I have a mindset of collectivism and you are operating on individualism. We don't share the same mindset, and it's not to be disrespectful whatsoever. See, you're thinking about self. What can you do for you and your family? But sister, you're stressed. You have no support. Your child doesn't have anybody really to talk to or play with. We all got children around the same age. Why would I want my children to be without their family and their close friends? Why would I want my children to grow up like that? But see, in her mind, and I don't know what's in her mind. Let me not say in her mind. What I gather is we, the so-called African American, we have in our mind, if you're able to get your single family home, drive your nice car, you proud of your salary, we have arrived. No, you haven't. You haven't arrived. We haven't arrived one iota. We still dropping dead in our 30s from stress. Some of us are losing our jobs in our 40s and our 50s and we can't get a job because of our age, so we stress. Some of us got family that lives 16 hours away from us, 3 days away from us, all around the nation. Ain't nobody living next to each other. So we don't have the supports and we stress. We got to get, yes, Lex. Lex says black people are adopting white family dynamics without the resources. They can afford to send their parents to the senior center at $100,000 a year. Better yet, Lex, let me tell you about my situation coming down here today. I'm on an airplane. And I had just had the conversation with my brother, telling him about my concern about the so-called African American and the lack of support that the so-called African American has, right? And the fact that I'm seeing people dropping dead. I got people that I work with that have had heart attacks in their 30s. I kid you not, and they got pacemakers in their 30s. Some of them are overweight and some of them are not. We are sick. We don't understand. Adopting these white dynamics is killing us. We are dying. And I'm on the plane with this white woman from Binghamton, New York. And if anybody's from the New York area or knows the New York area, you know Binghamton. I ain't going to even have a conversation about Binghamton. Y'all know Binghamton. But she's on a plane with me. And she says to me, are you going to visit family? And I said, I'm going for personal reasons to Georgia, but I do have family in Georgia. Maybe I might see one or two of them, but I have family in Georgia. So she says to me, oh, well, you know, I'm going down to Florida. I got my granddaughter with me. She's over there. My other granddaughter is flying in, you know, and she starts talking about her family dynamics. So I said to her, I said, and I wanted to see what she was going to say. I said, you know, family, the concept of family is dying. Like, things have changed so much in this world that family, we're spread all over the place. And some families suffer greater than others. But whatever happened to all of the family growing up together and being in the same community? She was like, oh, I know, it just kills me. It kills me that my daughter lives in California. I see my daughter maybe once a year. And if she's really busy at work, I don't even see her. It kills me. And I don't know what I would do. Here's her own words. She said, I don't know what I would do if I did not have the resources to go see my daughter and my grandchildren. I don't know what I would do. This lady, her and her grandchildren, she decided to take all her grandchildren to Florida for vacation for a week. She's flying all of them in with her. One of her grandchildren, which was an adult, she was in her 20s, was on the plane with her. She's flying them all in to vacation home in Florida. How many of us can do that? I know some of us can. But let's just be honest. How many of us can fly in our family members? See, she didn't say that they had to buy their own tickets. She said she's flying in her grandchildren because she has not seen her grandchildren. So she's flying them in to Florida. She's from Binghamton, New York, and they're all vacationing in Florida for a week. So ask yourselves, ask all of yourselves, can you do that? Can y'all fly your family members in to vacation for a week? I can't. I can't. Even though my trip was booked short. My trip coming here, just to be transparent, cost me $1,300 for 9 days. And I'm not on vacation. I'm here on personal business. I ain't on vacation. $1,300 for 9 days. Unfortunately, I can't stay the 9 days because it fell through, so I'll be leaving. But $1,300. And you see, I sit back and I say, okay, because I have my own business, I sit back and I say to myself, how many clients do I have to get in a week to make that money back? And that might sound bad to some people who are not in business, but if you're in business, that's how you have to calculate things. Because I can't depend on nobody else to pay my bills. Right? Who can really do that? Who can really do that? So when I get on here and I teach about the Black family unit, and I teach about structuring our family units so that we can have success, these are the things that I talk about. These are all the things that I talk about. Because so many of us, we are not at liberty to do that. And it doesn't mean that we don't work hard. I love when I meet people and I'm doing consultations with them, and they come in with this little gaudy, egotistical attitude like I make 130,000, I'm this, I'm that, all this stuff that they are. But yeah, you make 130,000 and your husband makes 120,000, but y'all living paycheck to paycheck. That shit don't sound right to me. So whose customs are you adopting? Y'all haven't taken a vacation in years because you can't afford to, because y'all living paycheck to paycheck. So quick to get that single family house, paying that ridiculous mortgage, ain't generating no income. Ain't generating no income. Putting your children in private schools. You living paycheck to paycheck, but you proud that you're bringing in 100 or 250,000 together. You're proud of that. Getting taxed up your ass, paying taxes like you're crazy, paying property taxes, paying your employee taxes, and you stressed at work. You working all types of ridiculous hours. Ain't with your children. Ain't with your children. Ain't with each other. But you proud. There's something seriously wrong with our community. And not enough of us are talking about it. Not enough of us are talking about it. We like to look at these things and say, oh my God, they're doing so well. That's so good. I'm happy for them. They're stressed out. Their marriage is falling apart. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They can barely take vacations. Other than their 401k, they ain't got no cash on hand. But we so proud of them because they making 6 figures. That's crazy as hell. That's crazy as hell. We got to really think about how we value things. We are turning around and we're placing value on things that have no value. And I know some people might say to me, oh, yeah, but Dr. Shonna, you talking. Look at where you live at. Look at the car you drive. Look at the money I generate. That's the difference. I got investments all over the place. That's the difference. I set my children up for success. That's the difference. That's the difference. My daughter's graduating college free, debt free from college. That's the difference. Not because I'm rich. I'm far from rich. It's the way I use my money. See, money is an energy source. It's the way we use our money. It's an energy source. I had somebody come on one of my feeds, and they had something to say about my vehicle being a Mercedes, the one that got totaled. If it had not been for that Mercedes, my son's life would have been gone. My car looked like a hatchback. If it had not been for that Mercedes, my son's life would have been gone. Do you hear me? My son's life would have been gone. Do you hear me? Everything I do requires planning. Everything I do requires a chess move. Everything that I do. Everything. Everything that we do must require planning. It wasn't my fault, Lex. I got rear-ended. Everything we do must require planning. Everything. So the only thing I'm saying is, before we start making these decisions, ask yourself the questions: how is this going to impact my family? Not just your children, your whole entire family. Every time I make a move, I see, how can I impact my whole entire family? My whole entire family. And it doesn't require us to have long conversations with our family. It means that we have to do the right things that we need to do right now, so that in future generations, they're all set. Right? We need to start taking advantage of certain things in order to make sure things are in place properly, including living wills. Including living wills. See, we can't just be revolutionary all goddamn day. Black this, black power, black, 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 black. And then we die. We can't even afford to put a tombstone on our grave. See, I know it may sound like I'm all over the place, but just follow what I'm saying, because I'm just having a heartfelt conversation. Do you know how many graveyards I visit with our legendary ancestors, and they don't have headstones? Do you know how many grave sites I visit of our legendary ancestors, and they do not have headstones? Y'all know I'm race first. Y'all know I got racial pride. Y'all know I study my history and I teach. I educate the community on their history. But I'm not trying to die a burden on my family. I'm not trying to die and have my family figure it out. You see, when my daughter was younger, she didn't understand why I always took her to the place where all my insurance, stocks, and bonds, all my accounts, where they're at. And she's the beneficiary on every damn thing. I always took her to a place to show her. And now that she's going to be 22 years old, she understands. She gets it. Right? She gets it. And so when I say to her, you're graduating, when you come home on spring break, we're going to start the process of upping your life insurance policy. You got to up those life insurance policy. Get it now that you're 22 years old. So when you become 32 years old or 42 years old, you're not paying ridiculous pricing. And you could have whole life insurance at this age for what? $30. Not a lot of money a month. And now she's ready for it, because she understands it, because I conditioned her from a child so she can see this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. Every time. I used to test her. Kira, go get my whole life insurance policy and have her go get it and get it to me so she can know what the hell it was. Go put it back. Kira, go get my term life insurance policy. She'll go get it, come back. Kira, go get my universal life insurance policy. She'll go get it, go put it back. Kira, go get my 401k information. She'll go get it and put it back. Kira, go get my IRA information. She'll go get it, put it back. She needs to know. She needs to know. Because if my life is cut short, they need not to be scrambling. They need not to be stressed the hell out. She knows that now she's going to be 22 years old. She knows that she takes her siblings with her. And she has enough money and she knows what to do with it. She knows to buy a multi-family house, raise her siblings in it, and as they get older, they move into each apartment. She knows that. She knows that. She knows they stick together. She knows that. She knows when her nieces and nephews are born, she's responsible for them and open up accounts on them. She knows that. My son knows if we don't like the woman, she ain't coming into this family. Some people don't like the way that sounds. But I'm keeping it all the way real. Yes, I agree with you, Paul. The worst thing we were taught was to stay out of grown folks' business. We got to get out of that thinking. That is the worst thing we do. This is grown folks' business. You're stupid as hell if you think that way. Of course, there's some things that's just for the adults. But see, when we tell our kids it's a grown folks' business, we don't teach them how to be adults. Teaching your child how to be an adult starts the minute they understand language. It starts the minute they understand language. Right? So I already told my son. Certain women are not allowed here. And it runs the gamut. When I say certain women, it runs the gamut. That includes even ratchet women. It runs the gamut. If she's disrespectful to your mother and she's disrespectful to your sister, she's going to be disrespectful to you. It runs the gamut. And I already let my kids know I'm not playing no games. Because I'm not going to have my grandchildren growing up in separate homes and I don't see them. And they don't know anything about my family. See, when you have a son, it's different. It's different when the family is disconnected through a son. Because that woman's mother and that woman's family are usually the ones that's on it with their kids. They usually are connected to your grandkids. We're not playing these kind of games. Not with my DNA. We're not playing these kind of games. Because I'll sue a heifer. I'll take a heifer to court for my rights and have my grandchildren. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm not going to be the person that says, oh yeah, my son got a daughter, a son. I got a grandkid, but I don't hardly see them because their mother's a knucklehead. That's not acceptable. Why do we accept stuff like that? Why do we accept stuff like that? And we just brush it off. Well, she a knucklehead. I want to see my grandkids, but I ain't going to fight with her. That shit don't make sense to me. What happens to the value of family? See, when you put family first, you can't have that mindset. When you put race first, you can't have that mindset. When you are about nation building, you cannot have that mindset. I gotta get the hell out of here because y'all be making me mad sometimes. When y'all have me talk about these things, I'm telling you. I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I said I was going to talk about it later. But this is the nonsense I'm talking about. Somebody said because baby daddy and mama is cool for the culture. You know what? You are absolutely right. Let me say something. I have this friend. And my friend uses terms like baby daddy, baby mama. That shit is stupid to me. We probably ain't gonna be friends that much longer because I correct those terminologies all the time. All the time. I'll be like, no. If the child, say for example, the child name is John, I would say John's mother or John's father. See, you're not gonna make it okay. You're not gonna normalize it around me saying terms that are meant to describe a certain population as inferior. You're not using those terms around me and I'm gonna be okay with it. I can't even imagine it. So when people say stuff like that, I say, no, John's mother, John's father. We got to stop normalizing these things. We got to stop normalizing terms that describe us as inferior, that places separation among us. Althena says we need to have these conversations even if it makes us uncomfortable. The truth is the truth. You're absolutely right. We have to have these conversations. We have to have a lot of these conversations. We have to have a lot of family building conversation, nation building conversation, self-love conversation, black love conversation, positive racial socialization conversation. We got to have these conversations. And we got to get out of our feelings. We got to allow our emotions to take the back seat so that we can sit down and have critical discussions. I don't call you guys my followers. I ain't got no damn followers. I call you guys my community of critical thinkers. And you know why I say you're the community of critical thinkers? Because the people who want to come to argue don't last on this page. The people who come to argue and fight and divide don't last on this page. Most of them remove their goddamn selves before I even have a chance to block them. Because if you're not a critical thinker, this is not the page for you. This is not the community for you if you're not a critical thinker. See, there's things that I used to hear that used to hurt me too because I was guilty of them. Okay, what am I talking about? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Because I want to say this in such a way that it can be received. So I'm going to use me as an example. Take it off of everybody else. I'm going to use me as an example. There was times where I used to log on and I used to hear people speak. People who are about nation building. People who are about returning back to our roots that has made its way from the continent of Africa into America that we have gotten so far away from because we started to adopt other people's cultures and other people's ways of being, their belief systems, their morals, their values, their integrity. We started to adopt what other people were doing. And we normalized our bad behaviors. So when I used to hear people like me speak, I used to get uncomfortable because I was guilty. I was guilty of wearing the weaves, right? Just bear with me for a second. I'm not talking about nobody. You wear whatever the hell you want to wear in your hair. It don't matter to me. But listen to me. Although I had loose natural, my hair was natural, I covered it under wigs and weaves. And when I used to wear my hair natural, whether it was curly, whether it was a twist up, because I have very curly hair, that it takes a lot of product to do it. But you guys can go back through my images, see my pictures. My natural hair is very curly, right? People used to say, why don't you wear your hair like that all the time? And I used to say, because it's too much work. It's too much work. I got to put in too much time, too much product. There's a certain way I got to do my hair. Then I got to sit under the dryer for it to stay that way. And I don't got the time. And I got to always freshen it up the next day. It's too much work. Too much work. So it's easier for me to throw in a weave. It's easier for me to throw on a wig. It's easier for me to get extensions. It's easier for me to do all of that because it's too much work. Because I wasn't raised in a way that taught me how to care for my hair, right? I wasn't raised by that because everybody in the family had relaxers, or as I call it, creamy crack. Everybody had creamy crack in their hair. Even the fellas, I'm talking to some of your asses too. Even the fellas with their jerry curls or their waves, they're trying to make it seem like they got real waves, but they put an S curl in their hair. Chemicals. And when I used to hear people talk about love yourself, and it may be because they used to say it so harshly, right? Maybe because the way they used to say it, the delivery was wrong. So it was hard for me to be able to receive it through the delivery. It was hard for me to be able to accept it because of the delivery was just harsh. And it came off as judgmental and critical. So I used to just turn them off and go to another person. But one day I woke up and all the stuff that I used to hear finally hit me. Right? It finally hit me. And I started to read different things on having positive racial socialization and what that means. And I really started to understand the theory behind the doll project. See, we all like to see things and watch things that's going to move us emotionally. Y'all know the doll project, right? There's a number of people that did it. Many people know about Dr. Jane Elliott, but there's so many people who have done that way before. And there's no shade. There's no shade against Dr. Jane Elliott. But there's so many people who have done these race projects way before she ever did. And we saw black little girls choose the white doll as being beautiful. Pick up the white doll as having good hair. Right? And I started to get kind of annoyed. And because I'm a researcher, I just don't look at things that are sensationalized, meaning things that we put out there that is out there for the purpose of evoking an emotion. But instead, I look at the research behind it. I look at the material behind it that made it possible for somebody to do such a project and put it out there for the reaction. And I started to understand the concept of positive racial socialization. And there are a lot of people that talk about it. The best person, in my opinion, that does it in such a manner that people can receive what she is saying is Dr. Joy DeGruy. She says about what she talks about positive racial socialization. She says it in such a way that you can receive it. And when I was able to receive that me choosing to wear weave, or me choosing to wear a wig, I was socially engineered to believe that my hair wasn't beautiful. And my natural look wasn't good enough. It wasn't acceptable. And I looked at what other people, the nasty comments that some of our brothers and sisters will make about people who wear natural hair. I would listen to their comments and I was wondering, what do they feel about themselves that they have to say such nasty comments about people who are choosing to be natural? And it's when I really started to understand what was happening, I took the weaves off, I took the wigs off, and I started to wear my natural hair. And even though wearing my natural hair did take a lot of work because I had to learn something different, even though wearing it took a lot of work, I felt so much better about myself. And when I locked it, it took away the hassle of having to do it. And I love my locks. Even though I don't do anything with it. I wear it like this every day. I don't care. My stylist, my loctician, I was like, you know, you can style them now, right? And I'm like, you know, I don't care, right? Because I don't care. I'm a really laid back person. I really don't care. But now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of here. Now when I go into public spaces and I see all these women who are wearing wigs, who are wearing weaves, to me now, it looks crazy to me. And I'm looking at them standing among other stringy head people. What's up, brother? Don't get me beat up by your girl with her fake hair. I'm just kidding. You know I'm joking. But anyway, she looking at me like, bitch, don't talk to my man. I want your man. Where's gold grills? Anyway, when I look at my sisters and I'm looking at the blonde weaves and the blonde wigs and they standing next to people who are naturally blonde, to me it looks crazy. It looks crazy to me now. Or when I see them with the weave all down their back, and no matter what kind of hair you get, whether you spend a lot of money on it or you bought that cheap ass pack hair, it all moves a certain way. And I know it's fake. The volume on your head don't even match the volume of your natural hair on your head. It looks crazy as hell to me. And I used to look like that. And I look at them, I'm like, sister, that don't even look like your hair. Nobody has that much volume on their hair in all those areas, on your sides, your back, your front. It looks crazy as hell. But for some reason, we think this looks cute. Because we like to look like everybody else. Right? So this is not a criticism to the weave and wig wearers. It's not a criticism. The only thing I'm saying is when you get out of that mindset, when you start to re-educate your mind, when you start to make behavioral changes that are designed to uplift you and to make you proud of who you are racially, you will notice all the things that we do that crazy as hell. See, the reason why I don't make a big thing out of fashion, when people choose certain fashions, the reason why I don't make a big thing out of it, because the truth of the matter is we don't make cars, right? So, you know, some brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa, some of them, they have their own cars. But for the most part here in America, we don't have our own make and model, so we can't drive our own cars. We don't have our own airplanes, so we can't ride our own flights. We make busing companies, so we can't take buses with that. We don't have all the stores and stuff that we utilize to get our essentials. We don't make our own in large doses. We don't make our own toothpaste. You know, there are companies out there that do, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of the stuff that we are going to wear, a lot of stuff we're going to buy, we're not going to own, but that's okay. That's okay. The reason why it's not okay in our minds is because we're giving our money away. Right? But if we build our economic power, if we were able to do that, it wouldn't matter whose stuff you buy, because you still would have your own. Like, Asian people don't only wear stuff by Asian people. Asian people don't only drive Asian cars. You get what I'm saying? But they have economic power, so it don't matter where they spend their money. It don't matter. Because they have their own shit. They have their own accountants, their own doctors, even though they may not have their own hospitals here in America, but they got their own doctors. They got their own accountants. They got their own banks. It's mad Asian banks. Right? So yeah, somebody said delusion of independence. You're absolutely right. Right? Yeah, but Lakeisha, they're doing Ethiopian Airlines, Lakeisha, but does Ethiopian Airlines go to Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Dominican Republic, Arizona, California? Does it go there? It doesn't. It's not flown everywhere. It's an international airline. So we all just can't jump on Ethiopia Airline and take it from New York to Georgia. We just can't do that. And that's the reality. And that's why Rain, DJ Bronx, is saying it's an illusion of independence. It is an illusion of independence. So of course, we always have people that have a little something, but the little something cannot fund or provide for the masses, for the 42 million of us that live here in America. You see, Lakeisha, that's all I'm saying. And I get your point, Lakeisha. We all critical thinkers here. I get your point. I absolutely do. But we have to really look at it in a larger context and not anecdotal. And what I mean by anecdotal is, in our community, what we tend to do, we always point out the one person that's doing it. Oh, but so-and-so got a product line. That's the one goddamn person. It's 42 million of us. We got to look at a macro level. Let me get the hell on out of here, guys. Yes, Rain. Rain said, and they have COD, Code of Conduct. You're absolutely right. We don't have Code of Conduct. We are not on code. And people don't want to listen to those of us who say get on code, because to be on code, I got to get the hell on out. And y'all know I could talk about this for days. That's why y'all got to come out to hear me speak. That's why y'all got to come out and be on tour with us and come. Because not only am I speaking, I'm also, this year, we're also doing workshops. So I'm teaching. And you're walking away with a workbook so you could take with you. It's just not going to be regular teaching. You're going to walk away with a strategy. You're going to walk away with a blueprint. Right? And this stuff is not going to happen overnight. But there are things, anybody who has ever heard me speak, I give you guys strategies and solutions that you can apply right now. But if you don't apply it, that has nothing to do with me. I've given you the tools. I've given you what I do. But to do what I do requires code of conduct, like he's saying. It requires code of conduct, and it requires discipline. It requires changing the way you think. It requires changing the way you behave. It requires changing the way you see yourself. I don't know about you guys, but I don't need to be in a dashiki. I don't need to walk barefoot. I don't need to stop shaving my legs and stop wearing deodorant, stop brushing my teeth to say I'm African. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I know who I am. And I know the love that I have for myself. And I know the love that I have for my people. I know everything that I do, even the businesses that I'm about to open, is not for me. It's for my people. It's for my people. Nothing that I've opened is for me. Even my counseling center is not for me. It's for my people. The school is not for me. The school is for my people. The real estate is not for me. The real estate is for my people. But I'm only one person. I'm only one person. Everybody has to duplicate this if we're going to really get on board. We all have to move together collectively, and we all got to buy up the businesses and the real estate in our communities. We have to do this. We can't be discouraged because the price that we see in the building. Oh, that building cost $3 million. But if we got together and we put it in as a corporation, like I forgot the name of it. Oh my God. Because I'm not doing a business class right now, and I don't have all my PowerPoints in front of me, but I forgot what it's called. It's not a trust. Come on, y'all got some, y'all critical thinkers. But when people don't realize that when you see these big businesses like hotels and apartment buildings, it's usually not one person that does this. It's a collection of people that do this. Right? It's a collection of people that do this. But if we don't get back to the collective thought, a co-op. Co-op is one of the words, but co-op wasn't what I was looking for. But yes, co-op is one of the words. And you could say a co-op, right? If we don't get back to collective thought and collective movements, we're never going to be able to succeed. We're never going to be able to succeed. We're not going to be able to do it. Yes, there you go, a shell company. A shell corporation is what I'm thinking about. A shell corporation. Because when you're a corporation, no one owns a corporation. It is an entity. So you have boards, you have shareholders, all of that stuff. And when you build your boards and you build your shareholders, the same thing like a rate. A rate is what you'll see in hotels. Hotels are rates. So yes, you see how critical we are? Look at this community. We have everybody in this community with knowledge. We just need to use it properly. Right? We just need to use it properly. A rate is one of them. A shell corporation is one of them. We can go ahead and we can do this. But we have to first change the way we think. I want to read this one sister thing. She said, some women like me wear hairstyles just for style options. I've been doing it for years before everything was an issue, and will continue because I like the versatility. I don't do the blondes, but I do like different hairstyles. And that's fine. And Jacqueline, I wasn't saying anything about any one individual. I was giving my testimony because I used to have that same mindset in terms of I do it for the versatility and I do it for the style. I used to have that same mindset. But when I looked at, for me, and I'm not saying for you, Jacqueline, but when I looked at it for behind everything, when you go deeper, when you dig deeper, I may be doing it because of the versatility, but why? Why can't I just be versatile with my own hair? Why do I have to spend money into a multi-billion-dollar corporation that my people don't own? Why do I have to do this when I know that the mindset of how other people view us, I'm contributing to it? When I'm accepting people coming into my community to sell me items that I really don't need at large amount of money, right? Especially people like me. When I used to wear my weaves and wigs, I didn't buy pack hair. I couldn't go into a beauty supply store and get my hair. Just to get my hair sewn in was $225 just to get it sewn in. The hair itself ran anywhere from $400 to $800. So if I'm doing this every 6 weeks, look at the money. Look at the money that's being spent. And that's what many of us do not do. We don't break down the dollars. We don't really unpack it. To say if I'm spending $400 to $800 every month and a half to every 2 months, we're not really breaking down those dollars. And then I got to get it sewn in. That's another $225, right? We're really not breaking down what shampoo is costing, what gel is costing, what flat irons are costing, what curling wands are costing. We're really not breaking it down. Just to wear somebody else's style. Whose versatility was I wearing? We don't have hair like that. So who am I duplicating? Whose versatility am I trying to get? I'm not performing. And I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about myself. I'm not performing. I'm not getting on a stage where the public is paying me millions of dollars and they expect to see me some way. So I'm in costume. I'm in costume because I'm making money, because that's what people expect me to do. Right? Our natural head sisters that sing like Jill Scott, ain't no way in hell Jill Scott is generating the money that Beyonce does. We're paying for an image, with all due respect. We paying for an image. We like to see that image perform. We like to follow that image life, and we use that as a standard of beauty, and the standard of beauty that is being represented by our sister Beyonce. And I have nothing against Beyonce. Our standard of beauty that's being represented by our sister Beyonce, she's representing somebody else's standard of beauty. She don't look like that. She made herself look like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying when we psychologically unpack it, when we psychologically unpack it and we get real with ourselves, not these excuses, when we just go to the bare skeleton of it all and we psychologically unpack it, we got to ask some real critical questions that's going to make us uncomfortable. And that's what I had to do. I had to ask myself some real critical questions that started to make me uncomfortable. That's right, Paul Evans. Paul saying Simone Biles and Gabby Douglas got ridiculed for their natural hair. And they got ridiculed by our people. When Blue Ivy had her hair out when she was a little girl, our people were so low that they said nasty things about a little girl with natural hair. A little girl who's innocent, that is born with natural hair. What the fuck did they expect us to do? Put a perm in her goddamn hair? I see little girls 3, 4, 5, 6 years old with extensions in their hair. That shit is crazy to me. I remember as a little girl sitting in between my mother's lap, her relaxing my hair. Her relaxing my hair. I remember her burning out the sides of my hair from leaving it in too long because she wanted it bone straight. That shit is crazy to me. But I was conditioned from a young child sitting in between my mother's legs, getting my hair done. I was conditioned to operate in that way. And we got to look at these generational or intergenerational belief systems that do not serve us for the better good. I was being taught indirectly that my natural hair wasn't good enough when I used to sit in the middle of my mother's legs and get my hair done. She don't have to say to me, your natural hair is ugly. She ain't have to say it to me. She never said it to me. Just the fact that she was putting it in my hair let me know. Now, did I know that growing up? No. When I became a teenager, did I know that? No. But when I started to be critical in my thoughts and I started to examine the things that I was doing, I understood where it was stemming from. My spiritual mom is saying, I couldn't stand that damn pressing comb and that funky ass smelling perm. For real. For real. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not criticizing anything. A lot of my family members and a lot of my associates, they all got weaves and wigs and whatever. Some of them have to wear it because they have conditions like alopecia, where their hair is just, you guys already know about alopecia. Some of them have alopecia when they have to wear it. But yeah, you may have to wear it, but do you have to choose a stringy one with hair that don't look like your hair? Do you have to choose the stringy one that's a Brazilian wave, or the Spanish curly, or the, what's that, the Indian, whatever it's called, the Brazilian, whatever the crap they are? Do you have to wear that one? Why can't you wear the one that reflects kinky hair? Because you're conditioned to believe that kinky hair is not acceptable. Oh, I just don't like the way it looks. Why don't you like the way it looks? I understand you got a condition and you have to wear a wig. You don't have to, but you want to because you're not there yet when you could just rock your hair in a Caesar. I understand that, but did you have to choose the stringy one? So Jacque is saying, so are braids, extensions, and twists not okay? I'm not saying it's not okay. You could wear whatever you want. You could wear whatever you want. If you want to wear braids and extension, to be honest, if you're going to wear braids and extension, I'd rather see braids and extension than to see stringy hair. I'd rather see that, right? Especially if you're going on vacation, going in the pool. I understand that. But, you know, people wear whatever they want to wear. I don't care. I don't care. I'm just saying, when we look at the bigger context, even when we look at the braids and extension, who are we giving our money to buy the hair? Who are we giving our money to? Who is manufacturing the packs of hair that we have to buy? And who are we giving our dollars to when we get the hair done? Now, let's have a critical conversation. I know I got a lot of our brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa, so don't get in your feelings. Let's just be critical thinkers. Let's just be critical thinkers, stay in critical thought. This is not criticism. This is us examining our deeper thoughts. When we hear the so-called African American or the so-called Negro, when we go get our hair braided, who are we giving our dollars to? Most of the time, we giving it to someone who immigrated into this country, who don't give back to our community. We got to have this conversation. And we don't really like to have this conversation. See, we look at it and say, but we're giving it to black people. Yeah, I mean, we are having Africans, whether they're from Nigeria, whether they're from Cote d'Ivoire, wherever they're from, it don't matter. Kenya, doesn't matter. Senegal, it don't matter. We are giving it to Africans, but are they building up our community? Are they pouring into our services? Are they helping those of us who are so-called African American? Do they look at us as their brothers and sisters? Do they treat us with respect when we are in their establishments? See, I'm not trying to do division because I am a Pan-African. But to be a Pan-African and being American, because at the end of the day, I am American, I have to be critical in my analysis, even of my own people. And we got work to do. Yes, Mom. Mom is saying no, they don't. We got work to do across the globe. We got to start seeing each other's as brothers and sisters. And until that happens, we are destroying those of us who are of African American descent, or the so-called African American. We are destroying our own communities when our money leave it, because their money goes back to their country, because they have a country to call their own. They have Nigeria as a country. They have Kenya as a country. They have Ghana as a country. They got Cape Verde as a country. They got Cote d'Ivoire as a country. They got Senegal, Somali. They got Ethiopia. They got Egypt. They got their countries. Right? So Jacque is saying, right, we shouldn't give our economic power to others. I agree. Are there any black-owned beauty supply shops where we can purchase from? I don't know any. Jacque, you're right there again. But even in that, Jacque, even if we go to a black-owned beauty supply, and I don't want you to think that I'm trying to get you to do things differently. I'm not. We're just having a critical discussion, sister. So I hope that you're able to receive it and not feel offended, because I'm not, my intention is not to offend anybody. When I start offending people, I'm cussing at a specific group of people. And those who have been following me for a long time know if I'm going to go in on somebody's ass, I'm going to go in on them. But that hardly ever happens, right? So it's because people in this community are critical thinkers. But when we talk about Black-owned beauty supply stores, if we're really honest, Jacque, with ourselves, we got to ask ourselves the critical question: where are they getting their supplies from? Where are they getting their supplies from? You see, Jacque, the problem is we're not manufacturers and distributors. That's the problem. The problem is we are not manufacturers and distributors. See, when you think about Asians, when you go and you look at an Asian community, right? In the Asian community, they manufacture their products. Go into H Mart or Hainan, which are their big supermarkets here in the United States. Go into one of those Asian communities. They manufacture their own products, they distribute their own products, and they sell their own products. So they make sure the money is being circulated within their own community. They manufacture their own products, they distribute their own products, and they sell their own products. So even though somebody's saying we have a lot of Black-owned stores in PG County, which is Prince George's County in Maryland, yes, you do. And so they have a lot in ATL too, in Georgia as well. Yes, you do. But where are you getting your products from? Who's your products manufacturers? Who's your product distributor? You may be selling it. You're not even the middleman. You're the third goddamn man. So you know the third goddamn man gets the less amount of money. You're not even a distributor. The manufacturer is the big head. They make all the money. Followed by the distributor. And the pennies get passed down to the retailer. You got to think like that. Those are the things that you have to think about. Manufacturer, distributor, retailer. Somebody says, so what's the solution? Well, Francis, with all due respect, the solution is wear your own goddamn hair. That's the solution. You ain't got to pay nobody shit. You think Asian people give people money for their hair? You think Jews give people money for their hair? You think fucking Arabs give people money for their hair? You think these Indians that own Dunkin' Donuts left and right, you think they give money to people for their hair? They don't give people money for their hair. See, Leslie's saying the owner said the Asians are the distributor. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Asians are the distributors. They got that industry locked down. And that's why it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So if we're going to take back our economic power, we have to be strategic and shutting down these goddamn industries that bankroll off of our existence and off of our self-hate. That's all I'm trying to say. And we don't even like the way that term sounds. We don't even like to say self-hate because we think that we love ourselves, but the love is superficial. Do you love yourself naked and natural? Do you love yourself? That's self-love. That's self-love. Some of us don't even go out to the club if we can't get our hair done. We won't even go to the goddamn club if we can't get our hair done. Right? But you remember back in the days when we had no choice but to love each other because we had just gotten out of the Jim Crow era. We had just gotten out of segregation. We were still loving ourselves. So we would go to our little clubs and our little juke joints with our natural hair. Right? We used to rock our own shit. And our little juke joint. And they saw the love. They saw the self-love. And they saw the racial pride. They saw that and they destroyed it. See, we don't understand our history. We don't understand how crack cocaine got in our communities. And we don't understand how guns got in our communities. We won't understand what we are experiencing today. They had to put drugs in our community. They had to put guns in our community because they had to destroy our minds. And once we destroyed our communities, we took the value of our community and we drove it into the ground. And once we was able to drive the value of our community in the ground because we no longer owned it, the crack, we smoked up our money and lost our houses. We closed our businesses down Because being an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of energy. And we went to go work for the white man. So those businesses got closed down. So we wasn't generating money into our communities. We drove down the value of our properties, and they came in, they bought it all up, and then they sold us shit, and we went for it. So when you hear people like me say that segregation was the best thing that ever happened to us, we're not saying fighting for our rights. We're not saying having water hoses put on us, our dogs being sick on it was the best thing that happened to us. We're saying the fact that we were forced to operate together because of laws that separated us, because we were forced to operate together. That's the best thing that ever happened to us. And we have this illusion. I got to get off of here. Y'all got me over here just educated. Y'all lucky I'm chilling. I ain't got shit to do. But, you know, we got this illusion of believing that integration is better for us. And we got this illusion of believing that segregation is no more. And it's an illusion. It's an illusion because we are still segregated. There are still communities that you cannot go into. Why? Because you don't have the wherewithal to buy a $700,000 and up home. And some of us can't even buy a $600,000 or a $500,000 home. So that's a way, a legal way, a loophole of keeping you out of certain communities. And as long as you are out of the communities, they're not going to fund your community with the stuff that you need. So we are still segregated, sisters and brothers. We are still segregated. We think because our neighbor is white, we're integrated. No, you're not. They don't have any problem with 1 or 2 of y'all being in the community, but let 100 of you guys move in. That shit ain't never gonna happen. It ain't never gonna happen. See, these jokers, they on code. That's what I mean when I say we need discipline, because we're not on code. These jokers will move into a community and they start seeing too many of us come in, they're going to raise the property taxes. It's strategic. Because now you're going to be paying $17,000 on property taxes, and you're going to realize that you can't afford that. So what are you going to do? You're going to sell your house if you're lucky, because you might be forced to have a foreclosure or a short sale. If you know about real estate, you're going to sell your house and you're going to move, and they're going to acquire your property back. That's what they're going to do. So segregation is still in full effect. Segregation is still in full effect. The only difference is we are not taking advantage of the concept of segregation. The only difference is we are not taking advantage of the concept of segregation. I'm going to say that one more time so it can sink in. The only difference is we are not taking advantage of the concept of segregation. What would that look like? Well, see how Spanish people move. Since people don't like me to always refer to Asians and Jews, fine. Let's look at Hispanic people. Anytime you move into a Hispanic community, you know you're there. Because everything around them has their names all over it. Their salons, their tax accountants, their doctors, their dentists, their real estate agencies, their houses, their restaurants. Their community speaks, we live here. And when I say community, when I'm talking about that, Rain, I'm not speaking in terms, just in this conversation right now, I'm not speaking in terms of racial association. I'm speaking in terms of geographic location. Your community, your physical community, your neighborhood, where you live. I know anytime I enter a Hispanic neighborhood, their bakeries, everything. Their stores, they got their clothing stores, everything. Everything. Their pharmacies or pharmacia, they're everything. They have their own stuff. They got their own manufacturing of liquor. They got their own manufacturer and distributor of food. Right? Really think about it. You got your Goya products. And Goya is their number one manufacturer and distributor. They got so many Goya products. They can cook their own goddamn food. They got their own rice. Right? They got their own juices, Malta, their own beverages, Malta. They got their own milk. There's different leche milk. They got their own milk. They got their own bread. Right? We got to really think about that. So that's all I'm saying, sis and brothers. All I'm saying is when we start to do things, we have to really unpack it to see what are we actually doing, and is it helping us or hurting us? And many of us, we are hurting ourselves and we don't even know it. Sometimes we can't help it because, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, somebody's saying Goya is everywhere. Heck, I even use it. I use it too. I use Goya too. And I drink Malta too. But then again, I'm raised in a Dominican community and culture. But I use it too. Right? So we got to really think about that. We got to really think about how we're showing up. And that the things that we do, is it out of self-hate or self-love? And every time we have a black product that comes out, we the first ones to criticize it. We the first ones to shut it down. Oh, I used that black-owned toothpaste. It was garbage. Oh, I bought that black-owned detergent. It's all watery. That shit don't get my clothes clean. Oh, I bought that black-owned toilet tissue. That shit is thin like paper. I'm not buying that anymore. Oh, I bought this black-owned thing. They want too much money. I ain't paying for that. Yep, somebody said, well, I don't know what the person was trying to say, but it's high prices. We always criticize it. Oh, I went over there and I went to her clothing store. She crazy as hell. She wants $70 for that shirt. That shit is stupid. And it is stupid. I get it. It is stupid. But we say that. And we say that like, I'm not paying for that. Giving her that fucking money. That's crazy. When I can go to H&M and get that 2 for $20. Right? Somebody say, we know it. We don't want to change. We're stuck in comfort. We are. Yep. Trevor saying this is what we do and say. It's self-hate. That's what self-hate looks like. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have better pricing, because we should. We should have better pricing. And we don't really understand the concept. So we look to make money, where we have to realize that first we have to build our community, and then we can make money on the back end. You know, we got to get out of the focus of making money is the focus. That should be the back end. It should be being successful should be the focus, and then money will follow. Once you are successful, money will follow. But people don't have that concept. Right? So Paul is saying, but so is Gucci prices. You're absolutely right. Gucci prices are expensive as well. I know it. I got Gucci products. I got Louis products. I got Yves Saint Laurent products. I don't have no red bottoms. Them shit is uncomfortable as hell. But I got Uggs. Right? I got Bag the Mishka. I have all those brands. I got those brands. But at the same time, I also buy black people products that are expensive too. I buy their products as well. Can the black people keep up with the demand? No, they can't, because sometimes when I come back and I want to re-up, I get something for somebody else. They ain't got it in their stock, or they haven't sold anything, or they out of business, or right? Yeah, Rain is saying depends on what. You get what you pay for. You're absolutely right. And Francis is saying, so let's pair up and change this one step at a time. But that's what we've been talking about. But Francis, how many people are disciplined? How many people are structured? How many people are really going to do it? And I can't blame them. I'm not blaming the people who are not disciplined, because we have so many stressors and traumatic experiences that we go through on a daily basis. So we can't really have this conversation and not be critical in our analysis of our overall conditions here in America. We got to have critical discussions. So again, we can't do that without capital. We can't do that without laws protecting what we have. We can't. There's certain things that we just can't do until we handle the foundation of it that protects us. We can't do that when the very people that are hurting us are the people offering us services. That's something that's psychologically wrong. And we got to examine those things. If we know that we can't do certain things until our community heals, we are sick, not only from traumatic experiences, but we are physically sick. We are mentally sick. We are economically sick. We are sick people. We are spiritually sick. And don't think because you go to a church, you're spiritually well. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's a whole nother conversation that we need to have critically without getting in our feelings. That's a whole nother conversation. But my whole point is the very people who are hurting us are the people the very people who are hurting us are the very people who are offering us services. Right? We got to really have these critical conversations. But listen, sisters and brothers, I'm so glad to be back on here. I'm so glad to be talking to you all. Thank you guys for all your love and your support and well wishes in terms of my accident. I thank you guys all for that. I'm not at liberty to go into detail, but you know, we're gonna be okay. And I just thank you guys for everything. Share the video. Share the video. I know it was a long one, but it was a critical video. We don't have to watch the whole entire thing. Just find bits and pieces that you can take and glean from. But share the video. It's not often that you guys get me out here just speaking about conditions of the Black community, just speaking. Usually I'm out here to educate, and I bring in research and data and support. I do that. Usually I only speak for an hour. But I was just in my mood, and I have free time because I'm in Georgia. Doing whatever. So those of you guys who are in in Georgia right at the moment, if you're not too far from ATL, if you're not too far from Decatur, if you're not too far from Alpharetta, if you're not too far from Johns Creek, those are the areas that I'm in. We can meet up and have dinner tonight, or we can meet up and have brunch. But whether you are my family members or my friends, whoever gets to me first is where I'm going to spend my time, and we can have more discussions just like this, right? Free of charge. Bring all your questions. Bring everything you want to ask me, even if it's about business. Bring it. We could do that free of charge. No problem. We're just gonna get together as sisters and brothers and have a great conversation. But those who are going to be visiting any of us on the Black Agenda Tour, at the beginning of this video, I named all the cities that we are going to. Just come out and support. Buy your ticket. As soon as we sell all of our tickets, we open the doors up for just donations only. Whatever you give, you give. We always sell out all of our tickets, and then we open it up for donations to come in. We are doing it a little bit differently this year. We're not only speaking, but we're teaching. We're going to have workshops. I don't like to use the word teaching. I like to say we're educating. We're going to have workshops, and we're educating people. We are going to be in California. Somebody's asking when I'm going to be in California. I did mention it at the beginning of the video. If I can find that quickly, because I got people texting me and calling me, and I got to get back to them before they start having a heart attack. In California, we're going to be in Los Angeles on June 6th and June 7th. Los Angeles on June 6th and June 7th. So you want to check this out. And in June, we're also going to be in Memphis, Tennessee on June 27th and June 28th. Right? So, Gwen, you're down here. That's right, Mama Gwen. Gwen, you have my cell phone number. You're one of my stars. You have my everyone is my stars, but Gwen knows what I'm talking about. Give me a call or text me, Gwen, and I'm going to come and see you. I'm going to come see you, take some pictures with you, have a conversation with you. just hit me up, Gwen. You somebody who I don't mind coming to your house because I've gotten a chance to know you personally. So I feel safe with you. Not that I don't feel safe with my other brothers and sisters. You know, just some of our asses are crazy. And y'all know what I do for a living. I get all types of emails. I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy as hell. So y'all know I only go to but so many places. I'm like, this motherfucker crazy as hell. But I did have people. I think DeQuanda was another one that I had went to her house with her husband, her son. I was scared of their pit bulls, but we had a good time, and they were so good to me, and I loved every one of them. Even when they brought their friends over, I felt safe regardless. So I love you guys. Somebody says, what about Baltimore? Sisters and brothers, y'all gotta go to the beginning of the video. Let me tell you real quick about Baltimore because somebody's asking. Baltimore is July. We'll be in Baltimore July 18th and 19th. We'll be in Baltimore July 18th and 19th. And we're gonna have some great speakers. And those who are coming to hear me, come with a pen and paper. Come with some strategies. You'll be getting your workbook that you could take on. I speak on building the Black family. I speak on nation building. That's the area I stay in. I stay in my lane. And although I know a lot about everything, I only know about the stuff that I do. I only know about stocks and bonds. I only know about real estate. I only know about relationships, marriage, dating, courting, polygamy. I only know about those things. I only know about the things that I either an expert on through experience or personal experience or relationship experience or from my teachings and my learning and having so many clients that present with those areas. And the reason why I said it is because people might hear polygamy and think that Dr. Shonna is polygamous. No, I'm not polygamous. I'm not anti-polygamy. I'm not polygamous, but I'm not anti-polygamous because I understand it. I understand it through theory. I understand it through practice. I understand it through the people that come see me. So I understand the concept of it. I'm not anti-polygamous, but I am not polygamous. Shit, I'm too possessive for that shit. Too possessive. Yes, I am. Not for the stuff that I do. I can't be sharing my boo with nobody with the way I am. Because if you could do it, I can do it. And since we both don't want to do it, we might as well just stay monogamous. Because if you do it, you're damn right I'm going to do it. Fuck what you heard. I'm just not one of those women. If you do it, I'm doing it. You lead, I follow. It's just as easy as that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Love you all. Share the video. Go to my YouTube channel and make sure you hit subscribe because that's where I'll be speaking later today because I gave you guys all my love today. So I'm going to give my YouTube community all my love. We have reached over 10,000 critical thinkers on YouTube, and we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep building. Love every last one of y'all, and I'll speak to you later. Have a blessed one.